September 21, 1983, Motorola came out with the first commercial mobile phone. After years of only landline and car phones, Motorola became the first to sell a portable phone known as a Motorola Dynamic Adaptive Total Air Coverage, abbreviated as a DynaTAC. The beginning price for the DynaTAC was $3,995, but to be honest, the prices haven't dropped that much since then. It revolutionized communication from then on. On September 19, 1985, an 8.1 magnitude earthquake hit Mexico City. For 3 minutes, the earthquake devastated the city. About 9,000 people died and $3 to $4 billion of damage was done. Foreign aid was at first denied because Mexico thought they could handle on its own, but later other countries were allowed to help and give aid. On Monday, October 19, 1987, the global stock market crashed, starting in Hong Kong. The Dow Jones Industrial Average went down by 21.61%. This is the worst stock market global crash since the 1929 Black Monday crash. Different countries lost different amounts. Hong Kong was down 45.5%, the US was down 22.68%, and New Zealand was down big 60%. There was a quick peak before the crash. On June 3rd, 1989, after weeks of non-violence on Tiananmen Square, Beijing, Chinese soldiers started firing tear gas and beating up people to stop them from moving to the center. The soldiers were outnumbered and retreated twice. But the next day, advanced soldiers used fire to clear a path through buses and trucks set up as barricades for a 50-truck convoy of foot soldiers. The soldiers fought with their AK-47s and many protesters fled in terror. Some stayed and rallied, however, with Molotov cocktails and rocks. 3 hours after the convoy arrived, the area was empty. Bodies were carried away in trucks so that people did not know how many were dead. The confirmed count was at least 1,000. John Lennon was shot on December 8, 1980. He was walking to his apartment at Dakota in New York when Mark Chapman shot Lennon 5 times. Chapman had earlier met Lennon outside of the apartment and waited for him to return. Lennon died. Chapman was tried with second-degree murder and went to jail for 20 years of life. This is a huge tragedy for all of us.
On July 29, 1981, Prince Charles of Wales married Lady Diana Spencer. The marriage was to be the wedding of the century and the fairy tale wedding. 750 million people tuned in to watch the royal wedding on the television sets, and 3,500 people attended the wedding at St. Paul's Cathedral in London, England. The wedding was so great that the United Kingdom created a holiday to mark the wedding. In early February 1984, Michael Jackson received serious burns to the face and scalp due to the incident that happened during a shooting of a Pepsi commercial. Michael's hair caught flame when the pyrotechnics went off too early and the sparks came down and set his hair ablaze while he was singing the song Billie Jean. He received second and third degree burns to the face and scalp, but he made a full recovery. On November 2, 1988, Robert Morris Jr., a Cornell grad student, wrote an experimental self-replicating, self-propagating program known as a worm and released it into the internet. This worm went around the internet and replicated and infected computers much quicker than he ever expected. It went around the country making computers either crash or become catatonic. It affected up to 10% of the computers around the nation, from universities, homes, military sites, and much more. At each place where the worm affected, the cost of this incident was from $200,000 to $53,000.
November 9th, 1989. This is a date that will forever go down in history. The day the Berlin Wall is announced to be taken down. 28 years later, after being put up on 1961, Soviet leader Mikhail S. Gorbachev is said to have given the order for the wall to fall. Changes began when Mikhail Gorbachev came to power in the Soviet Union in 1985. He had been making changes in the state bureaucracy and in the Communist Party by restructuring the economy's production and distribution system, perestroika, along with also allowing for people to publicly criticize the Communist Party, glasnost. Today, the leader of the East Berlin Communist Party, Gunter Schabowski, announced that the border of the West Berlin would be opened. As you all know, the Berlin Wall was constructed to separate the communist side from the democratic side of Berlin, due to all the fleeing people trying to escape to Berlin's democratic side. Many had tried to escape regardless of the wall. Very few succeeded, and many were shot on sight. Hoping to keep a memory of this day, hundreds have taken part in taking down the wall using their own hammers and chisels to carve out pieces of the wall that will soon forever be just a memory. With this happening, people can now cross to the other side of Berlin without fear of being shot on sight. Many families who were once separated can now be reunited once more after years of separation, thanks to the decision of Soviet leader Gorbachev and our own President Roosevelt, who had given a speech not too long ago telling Gorbachev to remove the wall so families can be reunited once more. Plans have already been announced for checkpoints to be opened at Potsdamer Platz and the Brandenburg Gate later on in the coming months. We are sure to hear more as the story develops in the coming months, but many people are sure to be celebrating soon with family members they have not seen in a very long time. February 7th, 1985. At the Olympics in Bormio, Italy, Diana Raffi became the first American woman to take the gold at the World Alpine Ski Championships. She captured the giant slalom in 2 minutes, 18.53 seconds. Eva Twardokins placed third in 2 minutes, 19.21 seconds, and Debbie Armstrong was fourth, giving the United States its best results ever so far, along with breaking the Swiss hold on the races. She had this to say about it: "I never put 2 runs together as I did here. I always have 1 good run, but never 2. I just can't believe it's happened." On May 5th, 1984, Swally, a horse of Caliborn Farms, was one of the favorites to win the Kentucky Derby that was to take place on April 1st. In his earlier career, Swally had won the $300,000 Florida Derby at Gulfstream Park. Swally, ridden for the first time by Lafitte Pincay Jr., completed the mile in 1 minute and 47 seconds. He carried 122 pounds and earned $180,000 for his owner, Caliborn Farms. Along with increasing his career earnings to $725,641, Pincay had this to say: "I would like to win the Kentucky Derby, and I hope to ride this horse in the Derby." The day of the Derby, Swally won, along with his trainer Woody Steffens being released from the hospital the day of the race. A memorable photo was taken literally showing a fairy tale ending for the horse, who is seen walking on rose petals with Pincay and his trainer Steffens.